Good evening. The heat is on, and with many spending their time out on the Midway in the next few days, enjoying the rides and the food, well, if they're not careful, heat exhaustion may be more likely to happen. Now, it's one of the 3 stages of heat-related illness, but can progress to heat stroke, which can lead to death if untreated. Anna Stanislaw gives us some tips on how to keep safe from the sun in this week's Healthy Living.
With the sun's rays out in full force, families are doubling up on protecting themselves from the heat.
Cruising inside, enjoying the air conditioning a little bit, making sure that sunscreen's on good.
How are you keeping safe from the sun?
Just finding shade where I can find it, drinking as much water as I can.
This EMT says the biggest mistake people often make is overexposure under the sun and not drinking enough water. And those who take diuretics like certain medication, alcohol or caffeinated beverages are more at risk.
Main people to look out for is over 65, where their kind of coping mechanisms are a little bit reduced, and your children under 5 who may not be aware of kind of how long they've been out for.
And the first few symptoms of heat exhaustion include feeling faint, dizzy and nauseated.
It can progress on to muscle cramps, abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, altered level of consciousness, and from there it can advance into heat stroke.
If you're staying outside for about 4 to 5 hours, depending on the temperature, it's recommended you cool off for about 30 minutes.
It's just taking them out of the environment, cooling them down, and in some cases, the more serious cases, we might replenish some of the dehydration with IV fluids.
You might as well protect yourself to begin with, right? You're not going to enjoy your day if you're sick.
Anna Stanislaw, Newcap News.
The Midwest has a rich history when it comes to agriculture, as many farms have stayed within individual families for more than a century. Last night, the Alberta government honored 10 area families who have farmed or ranched on the same land for 100 years or more. Barb Padiasic reports.
It was a big night for the Lawrence family as they celebrated their longevity in the area. Originally settling their ranch north of Provost in 1906, the family saw some bumps on their long journey.
We went through the 30s just like everybody else, and it was hard going and stuff. And just lucky enough to be able to get through it somehow, and we're still here. Don
DeVille accepted the Century Award on behalf of his family farm near Paradise Valley. He says his paternal grandmother came to the Lloydminster area in 1911 before taking up their homestead in 1913.
It's a little bit about the history of our forefathers and what they did for us so that we could enjoy the lifestyle that we have today. And to me, that's very important.
The Lawrences and DeVilles join more than 60 other Alberta families receiving Century Awards from the provincial government.
You can just see the pride in their faces, to having, had the same plot of land for a century now. In many cases, that covers 4 or 5 generations. And we saw multiple generations here today, and that's it's really exciting to see that.
And while the bronze plaques will be proudly hung on family farms for years to come, the Lawrences and DeVilles say it's a good reminder of the struggles their families had to endure to get to where they are today.
I think it's very important that we recognize our past and give some tribute to that.
Been able to survive that many years and still here, still in Alberta. It's pretty great.
Bart Padiasic, Newcap News.
Well, they spin, they go up and down, and they're a whole lot of fun. The rides are one of the main attractions at Colonial Days, and today Kyle Galver hit the fairgrounds to find out what people like.
With music, flashing lights, and screaming kids, the rides at Colonial Days are hard to miss.
Our most popular are the Vertigo, which is the swings that go up and swing around. For kids, the Wacky Worm. That's a great attraction. Kids really like that, the mini roller coaster.
Everyone has their favorite part.
I liked how it went upside down and how you felt like I was going to fall out.
Just how they, they give you like the sudden movement in your stomach and that. It's really exciting.
I like spin. Yeah, spin.
Not so much the spins. I like up and down.
One brave little fairgoer even tried to conquer his fear of heights.
Very, very creepy.
Would you go on it again? No, once was enough?
And for those who like to be scared, there's a spooky new addition to this year's Colonial Days.
we have the dark ride haunted house. It's you sit in it and ride through with some scary effects in it.
What was the scariest part?
I wasn't really looking because I was too scared.
Kyle Gallagher, Newcap News.